welcome to All Things Football. Jay, co-host, not with us today, unfortunately, so it's me on my own. But it's a great pleasure to firstly introduce, for me, a very good podcast, one that someone who slipped into non-league football from being a professional, worked tirelessly to get back into it, and we can find out a little bit more. It's the main man, Junior Morias. Junior, how are you, mate?
What are you saying, brother? You all right? How are you, man?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Oh, I've been all right, man. I can't complain. I've been good, mate. You know what it is already. It's
So
quarantine time, so...
Are you up in Scotland or down south, mate, in London?
No, I'm back in London now, so I'm back home at my mum. So I've been, I got given the green light to come back down, so I came back down as soon as possible, spend time with the family and just lock away with them, really. So.
Keeping yourself fit, working hard?
Oh, mate, honestly, I've been doing running, mate, till I think I'm running out of ideas of what runs to do. But it's just about being professional, because you just never know what's going to happen, really.
No, you don't, mate. You could be back at any time, mate, can't you?
Exactly.
So, let's get into it, mate. So, what was young Junior like growing up? When did you first fall in love with football, and where did it all start for you, mate?
Oh, do you know what? It started off like when I was in Jamaica, because I remember when I was 4 years old, and even younger than that, I just loved kicking the ball. I loved running around. And I remember when I knew that football was for me was when I had a terrible accident when I was like probably about 5 years old. Yeah. I had my foot split with a razor.
Yeah.
And then like literally the doctor said to me to let it heal and this, that, the other. Obviously, you know, in Jamaica you ain't got NHS.
Your mum was probably the doctor.
So I went to the doctors, they dashed some thing in it, get the germs out, and then bandage it up. And then literally in a week's time, I was outside playing football. And then from then, I just never looked back. I just always loved playing football. Like, football's just always been something where when I'm playing it, I have a smile on my face, especially when I'm enjoying it, really. So, yeah.
So when did you come over here then? And how did that all come about?
So I came over when I was 6 years old. And obviously, my grandma was here for years, so I'm talking about probably 30 plus years. Yeah. And then next minute I just see like I had my sisters and my uncles and that, and everyone kept disappearing. I was thinking, where's everyone disappearing to? But my mum wouldn't tell me where everyone was going.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, why is everyone disappearing? Then when I just started thinking like something's fishy going on here, then my older sister disappeared, and I was thinking, this is going crazy. And then next minute, all I find myself is in a cab, on a plane, excuse me. And then literally I'm in a country and I see white stuff dropping out the sky, and I'm thinking, where am I?
And did you come over with mum then, did you? Or?
Yes, I come over with mums, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so how's that work then? What do you do there? Just go and find yourself a local football team, or? Massive culture shock.
Yeah, so that in itself was obviously a bit crazy, because I remember one time I had an argument with my grandma, or she told me off or something, and I was like, look, send me back home. I want to go home, because I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what this white stuff in the sky. And then obviously when I started going primary school, I started playing football there. Yeah. And then obviously I got scouted from obviously school football to Alpha Omega from a guy called Pete.
Yeah.
And then got scouted by Pete to go Alpha Omega. And then from Alpha Omega, was doing very good. Our team was very good, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then from Alpha Omega, I went to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal, basically, we went to Arsenal, played Arsenal, done well, to be fair, to be a Sunday League team playing against, obviously, an academy establishment. And then they called, I think, two of us back, including myself and one of the other boys. And then when I went there, and I was about to leave, because I remember I went Fulham first as well. No, I went Fulham after, tell a lie. And then as I left, Arsenal wanted to sign me, but obviously Fulham was saying, look, we signed you now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're leaving on certainty, for certainty, really. And then I just went. I was at Fulham from 12 years old to about 15. And then from 15, I went to Wickham. yeah, went to Wickham for about 15, 16, and then signed my first professional contract at 17.
What we'll go probably into it a bit more later because
Yeah.
I've worked with you myself, and
Yeah, of course.
Speaking to Dominic Ball and Matt Ball the other day about knockbacks that Dominic Ball had and not many knockbacks that Matt Ball had probably made Dominic stronger, and look where he is now playing in the Championship with QPR. What was that? What happened at Fulham? Was that we're not going to sign you on YTS forms? Was it to release you, or
No,
was it?
do you know what the thing is, right? That was never the conversation I had, because as anyone that could tell you from then will tell you that I was always the one playing up. I was always the one playing with the older groups. I was always the one going away with the older boys to like night cups and stuff. But what happened was, so we had a guy who brought us to Fulham, right? I won't say his name, but he's the guy that brought. I'll say his name because Junior don't give an absolute toss. So we had a guy called Eugene, and he basically was bringing a lot of the boys to Fulham at the time.
Yeah.
So he was bringing loads of boys. I remember, I think Fulham was going to sack Eugene. So what happened was Eugene pulled all the boys, me, Elias, Tyrell Miller, Bevis Mongabi, Jack Connors, name it. There was probably Malachi. There was like loads of us. And, obviously I'm always late to meetings. You know how it goes already sometime. But normally obviously back then, obviously now it's a bit different, but back then I was always the one late to things. Yeah. And then I was late to the meeting anyway, so I didn't make the meeting. And then everyone basically got told that no one's going to get a scholarship. So, and then I was like, F that, man. Like, I ain't going back. Why am I going back to Fulham the next minute? They're going to disappoint me in the end. But obviously, this is when I didn't really this is when I was just young, naive, and just quick to react. And I just never really look into things really. Yeah. And I didn't really have anyone to really guide me at that stage to say, look, that's not true. Do you get what I'm saying? Or I had someone I could phone, where I have a Bert now, where I could say Bert could phone and question things. I didn't have no one at the time. Yeah. And then when I remember going back, so I didn't go. I remember I didn't go training for months. Started getting fat. Like, seriously, I remember. This is when I knew I was good. I was bad fatly. Yeah. I went back and we used to have this boy called Jack Casey. I'll never forget the story. Jack Casey used to be the slowest guy out of everyone, right? He used to be the slowest guy. When I went back, Jack Casey was blowing me out. Jack Casey was running left me. I couldn't believe. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm way off it here. But I remember speaking to the directors, the director at the academy, and he was like, why haven't you not been in training? I said, what am I coming to training for? It's pointless me coming to training. He goes, so I said to him, well, I've been told I'm not going to get a scholarship. And he goes, who's told you that? And I said, well, X, Y, Z. And he goes, that's never been a conversation, because he said to me, we've always told you the decision's up to you. And there, as he said that, mate, I was honestly, I felt so disappointed, because, when you think someone's got your best interest, and then when it turns out that person ain't got your best interest, it hurts me, you know. And things would have probably been different if I didn't listen to him. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because, as I said to you, and again we'll touch on it later about how hard you work now, and that's probably back then, like you say. And it happens to a lot of footballers nowadays that sometimes they think they're in with the right people, whether that's an agent, whether that's an advisor, and some people are just looking out for their best interest, isn't they? And that's where you look back now, you'd probably give yourself totally different advice.
100%.
It didn't work out for you, and then obviously a move to Wickham. How did that come about? And what did you go scholarship there?
Yeah, so basically what happened was Wickham, Michael Carnegie, he came to watch a game against Chelsea, I think it was Chelsea. When Fulham, we played Chelsea at Montsper Park. And from then, he liked me and everything. And, and then from then, it's like that. Obviously, then after, everything went left, Bert, obviously, me and Bert, obviously, was always been close, obviously, because his son was at somewhere else, and obviously Bert wasn't an agent at the time. So when we met Michael Carnegie, he said to Bert, which obviously we knew Bert, and he said, look, XYZ, like about junior, and then that just came up, and then I ended up going Wickham, and then I signed a scholarship, and then the rest is whatever the rest is.
Well, you keep mentioning Burke, so I mentioned that. So Bert is Junior's agent, and
Yes.
I have to say he works with a lady called Sylvia, who I've had some dealings with in the past, and they're absolutely they're different class. They carry themselves brilliantly. They give Junior great advice. They really do, and I think they've really helped him along the way. So where he got bad advice in the past, he's now met someone that I think has really helped his career. So just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out as well. So
100%.
Did you go to digs there, Junior, in Wickham, or would you?
Yeah, so home? I was staying with a lady called Chrissy. First, oh my days. No, she didn't actually. That's a lie. When I was 16, she did. I don't think she wanted me at her place because I was a bit of a, it gets a bit of a screw loose guy. So I didn't think. So I was staying in a hotel at the time with like a few of the obviously like senior boys like Charles Dunn. Was it Charles Dunn, Anthony Stewart, Kadeem Harris? So we was all staying in the hotel. So I was there for a bit. And then when I get my first professional contract, I believe, or it was probably my second year. It's probably my second professional contract, I think. I started living back with her. And then, to be fair, till this day, she texts me all the time, like, hi, how are you? No, she's amazing, man. I actually love her to bits, to be fair.
So what was that like, getting your first pro contract? Was that at the end of your second year scholar, or was that midway through your scholarship?
So that was literally after my first year scholar, because the academy went into bust. Like, they'd done that academy thing.
Yeah, they got rid of it.
In the academies at the time. Yeah. And then they had to give, I think, 4 people contracts and stuff. And me, George Hui, Courtney Hawes, and I think E-Man, Egaray, I think there was one more. Yeah, got the contract. And that's how I managed to obviously get a professional contract under Gary Waddock.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Gary Waddock for giving me my first professional contract.
So you had a couple of loan spells, didn't you? You had a couple at Hendon, and one at Boreham Wood, and then moved to Boreham Wood a little bit later. We'll go into. But how did you find them? And I think this is a big one for me, because I think a lot of players, not senior pros, but lads that get their first contract, they look down their noses sometimes at non-league football, and I think you're a testament to how good it actually is and what it's done for you. How did you find it going out and loan young lad? Did you toss it off early, or did you think actually this is something?
I'll be so honest with you, and I keep saying it. And anyone that speaks to me about it, when I was at Fulham, I kid you not, I didn't know anything about any team outside of the Chelsea, Arsenal. Like, that's all I knew about. And I remember, I'll never forget the story. Like, I remember we played against Dagenham and Redbridge. I remember the coach come and said, I remember the coach. Have you gone?
Yeah,
sorry. The coach saying that we're going to play against Dagenham and Redbridge. I was thinking, who's Dagenham and Redbridge? Like, we're going to play Dagenham and Redbridge. But come on, man. Like, first, like, the other week we played Southampton and we beat Southampton. So why are we playing Dagenham and Redbridge? And we played Dagenham and Redbridge, Lee, and they actually battered us. Yeah. Because we went in with an absolutely a joke mentality, and they battered us. And I remember the manager lost his head with us. I was thinking, rah. So that's what I knew, Dagenham and Redbridge. And then next minute, I was like, rah. I left Moxburgh Park with carpet. Then I'm at Wickham and I'm like, oh my God. And then obviously going on loan. When I went on loan to Hendon, actually, honestly, I'll tell you no lie, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it was just a chance to play football. And so I was just, with me, all my loan spells, I've never I just always see it as a test to basically test myself. And obviously I know there was always a bigger picture when I was on loan. Yeah. So when I went Hendon the first time, I was just buzzing to go, get minutes, and I'm scoring goals. The second time, I wasn't really happy about going there, but it was just one of them ones where it was football at the end of the day. And you listen, when you're playing football, you can't really knock it, can you? No. And then when I got told to go, when I got called back and said we're going Boreham Wood, I was like, okay, I'll go Boreham Wood, because that's more of a challenge now. Do you know what I mean? I've done Ryman Prem, like, I don't really need to go back there again. But I'll go there because obviously it's football. But when I got told to go Boreham Wood, I enjoyed it, to be fair, under your grumpy old man.
Yeah, I mean, you got called back towards the end of that first season, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you played a few games for the first team. And then what happened? Did you go back to Boreham Wood again for a second loan spell? Was that the promotion season? Or did you leave with them?
No, so basically my contract, so I had the loan spell. I got called back because obviously we was in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
And then I got called back. And then towards the end of that season, I came back to Wickham. And then, so we managed to beat Torquay and we stayed up. And then I remember the September, something happened at football. And then obviously contract got mutually terminated.
Yeah.
So that's how, and then I went to QPR for a couple of months. That was actually, I really enjoyed QPR, to be fair. Yeah. And then that was, do you know what? That's when there was two things that was going through my mind. There was things saying football's BS, and I was thinking football's outstanding. Yeah. And with the QPR situation, at the time I was just saying football's loads of BS, but it's how football goes, really.
Yeah.
And then I got a call from Derby saying I should come up there. And this is when I said to you, football is full of loads of BS. Yeah. Went up there, was training well. Then I was meant to be in a game, and then I got told, we've got a player, and we're looking to push him to the first team and push him through, and this, that, the other. Then it ended up nothing happening at Derby, and then that's when I went back to Boreham Wood.
So what was that like? Because you played 27 games in the Football League, and then you find yourself back in the conference. So that must have been mentally really tough for you, mate. How did you find that?
Do you know what is? I was young, and the thing is, I just think what set me back to the Conference South was the fact that I didn't score.
Yeah.
And for me, when I really look at it, right, the reason why, when I sit down and I think about it, the reason I didn't score is because when you're playing football, this is my personal opinion, when you're playing football, like, you need games, number one, and you need to enjoy it. Yeah. If you're not enjoying it and you're not playing games, it's a hard skill, you know what I mean? And when I was going on loan, I was enjoying it because I was playing games. Yeah. I was confident. When I was playing with the first team, I'm not saying I wasn't confident, but I wasn't I didn't have the confidence as normal as to when I'm on loan, when I'm playing, and I know I'm playing. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But when that happened, it's just one of them ones. I just said, you know what? I took it on the chin. Yeah. And I just said, look, let's go Conference South and just make things happen. Obviously, I was going there, and then obviously I knew, Ian. Yeah. And obviously I knew Matty Witchlow, Lee Ango, Sam Cox. So it was like I already knew those guys, and yeah, it was just an easy decision to go there.
Yeah, it's funny because I always say that about centre forwards. I think if you know you've got a centre forward who can score goals and plays well, but goes through barren spells, I think you have to play them through them spells because they always come good. Like that's a fact.
100%.
That finishing knack is hard to come by. So if they're scoring 20 goals a season and the first 6 games haven't scored a goal, I think you have to stick with them. Of course, you know a lot goes into talking to them and getting their head in the right place and believing in them. But forwards have to play. I'm a big believer in that forwards have to play. But I remember that season that you got promoted with Boreham Wood. I mean, I watched a few games and you were unbelievable. You and Lee Angel just had the best partnership going in probably that league that's ever been. Like it was a joke. You were unplayable. I think you scored the winner, didn't you, for the Whitehawk game in the playoff final. And then the second season, it just didn't quite work out in the conference, did it for you?
I just found myself couldn't. Do you know what? I just found myself not playing. Yeah. But it was bigger than what I thought it was. And football, sometimes you don't know what happens behind scenes, really. And
the thing is, June, as well, it's football's all about opinions. And
Yeah, of course.
it doesn't fit. You might not have, although you felt
No,
that you was in
100%.
your best form, you might not have been. We don't know what goes on, and it's one of them things. But I remember I was actually in your hometown at the time. I was in Jamaica because we went to St Albans, and Dad said, "Look, I think I can get a deal done for Junior," but and I remember I think I must have drove him mad. I rang him every day for 5 or 6 days and just said, "Look, we've got to get the deal done. We've got." And he's like, "I don't know. He's going to be expensive." And I said, "Look, he's proven. He's proven." And to be fair, I think he spoke to Bert a few times, and you took a massive gamble, didn't you? What was
And
it?
I'll be so honest with you. I hated Ian. I swear to God, I hated Ian. I kid you not, yeah. See that season when I wasn't playing and I knew. Do you know when you like, for example, me and Ian's got, I feel we've got this relationship, right? Where it's like your granddad. Me and he's got this son and granddad relationship. So I know when something's not right. But obviously, you can't say whatever. But he wasn't saying something. I was thinking, come on, just tell me. It's fine. I understand. I could take it. I just rather you just tell me, But and when I see what happened, I was thinking, something's not right here. Like we brought in a striker from Bristol Rovers. I won't say the name, right? And it was just crazy because I'm you know me well enoughly, and you know that I'm not sort of guy who will say, I'm better than this, I'm better than that. But the guy they brought in, I was way better than. And my strength compared to his strength was a whole different in terms of what I bring to the game and what he didn't bring to the game. I remember, for example, I'm not gonna say this particular guy's name because he's but he put everyone in a huddle and it was like, what's the striker's strength? And everyone just said running. And then we just first everyone just didn't say nothing. Everyone just kept quietly. And I was standing there and in my head I was laughing, right? And I was thinking, that's so rude, like just say something. And then everyone just started saying, yeah, he's good at running. But I could just be good at, what about like hold up play?
Yeah.
What about his and I just remember when that happened and then next minute they didn't play him. I just thinking something else is going on here. And I just knew, but when I remember I was in the group chat again and I was speaking to the boys and I was saying, I know Ian's going to call me. I know he's going to call me. I just know it. And I promise you, Lee, I was on the bus and I got a phone call from Ian. I said it in the chat, literally 5 minutes. I said, I know Ian's going to call me. I promise he's going to call me. And who called when I saw my phone rang? Ian. I listened. I thought, here we go. I said, here we go. But
it's one of them though, mate. And it's difficult because football is about 3 points, and sometimes you get up that next level and you do have a little panic up and maybe you change the way again, it might be completely different. Just sometimes it just doesn't work, and that doesn't mean that another club's not right, and it just sometimes doesn't work. And that season, what made you come to St Albans? Because like you say, you thought my old man was a donut.
I wanted to, honestly, Lee, I wanted to give him one.
And listen, I know you well, and I know when you become an angry little ant, there's a problem. But there must have been a reason why you done it, and what was that reason?
No, because obviously when I spoke to Gaffer, as I always call him anyways, when I spoke to Gaffer and I said, look, we had a conversation, I said to him, boy, I spoke about the Bournemouth situation. He explained to me the situation. I was like, yeah, fair enough, I understand. But to be fair, as I said to you, we've had that bond in it where I enjoyed working with him, and it was a risk.
Yeah,
it was a risk, but listen, life's about taking risks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And for me, I wanted to get out of that place anyways. So that was the next thing. I needed to get out of that place because I don't know when I was gonna play a next game.
Yeah.
They were doing things that was they were doing things to me that was for me, I'm professional.
Yeah.
And I listen, you know, you don't do things like that to people that's basically someone who's scored goals and then scored a goal to get the club into that position. You don't do that.
Yeah,
You
again,
show.
now listen, and I'll always say there's whether it's both sides to every story or not, but
Of course.
sometimes it just doesn't work, you know.
No,
and
I get no, and the thing is, I get that because
that's football, and you know, you did take that gamble, and listen, it paid off, mate. And
exactly, this is what I'm saying. I get that. Like,
I remember taking our first session. I just got back from Jamaica, I think, with 2 and this little crazy little lunatic, hard-working session terrorist, I used to call him, mad. But listen, what you done for them months, mate, I think completely major. I think it's probably the most you've enjoyed your football.
Mate, that brought back the life. That brought me back. Like, in terms of loving football again.
You was head and shoulders above anything in that league. And I'll go into some stories about you because, listen, I don't care what anyone says. If people don't understand Junior Morias, you won't be able to manage him. And that's a fact.
100%.
That's the kind of person you are, Junior.
100%.
Every single person different, you know. You look at Solomon Sambu, you come through Fulham with, had a great career, works with me now at Hendon. Quiet lad, but if he's not happy, you know, without him saying anything.
Problem.
Junior will tell you if his laces aren't done up properly, that's a problem for Junior. And
100%.
you have to take some things as a pinch of salt. And sometimes we've had some blistering rows, me and him, but
100%.
he was so good, and he was in major form. We hit the season running. I think we were flying. We were top. We go to Maidenhead away, and he's absolutely ripped the 2 centre halves apart. I mean, he was unplayable. He gets booked, and then 3 or 4 minutes later, I don't think you actually done anything wrong. And I get on well with Dean Inman, and I think he's thrown himself on the floor, and Junior's got sent off, and Sean Lucian sticks a free kick away. We draw 1-1, and we think no problem. We go to Hemel Hempstead on the Tuesday, and Dad says to Junior, right, listen, they've got a lad, and I played with him as well, Ollie Thorne. You can do not get involved with him. You've already on a 3-game suspension from Saturday. Do not get involved with him. For 20 minutes, we absolutely played. I genuinely believe we'd have beaten 6 that night. We were so good. I don't think anyone could cope with how good we were going forward. And we're 2-0 up. Junior scored. There's got to be 1,000 people there. It's all going great. And there's a scuffle in the far corner, and Junior decides to kick out Ollie Thorne and get a straight red. So not only has he had a straight red on the Saturday, he's had a straight red on the Tuesday. And I think it was 6 games, June, wasn't it? It was a night
6-game ban, yeah.
So in that time, you've signed for St Albans, you've played the first, and then you've got a 6-game ban. But I think this is where Dad's very good, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it. That
100%.
We had Peterborough come. I think it might have even been the Hemel game very early, and asked that they really liked you, and would we allow you to train with them? And I remember saying to Dad, "What are you going to do?" And he said, "Doesn't even cross my mind. He's going in at Peterborough. I'd never ever stop a player getting that opportunity." So you continued at Peterborough, didn't you? You trained there. We got to the FA Cup first round, and you scored an absolute worldie. And then they put an offer in, mate, didn't they? That must have been an unbelievable feeling for you.
No, 100%. Like, do you know what? As I said to you, man, I can't ever stop giving yourself, Faye, Ian, like, I can't stop giving the whole squad, like, love, and even St Albans, the chairman. Oh God, I can't stop like thanking everyone, because you guys, I don't think you guys understood like what you guys done for me, like in terms of football wise. You know what I mean? You made me fall in love with back the game. Like, I honestly, I tell you this, I hated football to that point. I was thinking, as I said to you before the QPR thing, I was just thinking football was just loads of BS.
Yeah,
like, I just ain't got time for it. Like, and you guys gave me that you just gave, I don't know, you just gave me that new life. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed coming to training. I enjoyed the small-sided games. I enjoyed everything.
That's all you wanted to do was 5-a-side. It used to drive me insane.
That's it. Because I enjoyed it. And you can see that with the team we had as well, was flying. second in the league, first in the league, whatever, name it. We was flying, was scoring goals, was enjoying it, was playing with a smile on our face. And when I heard Peterborough, and I remember when Gaffer said that, and I was thinking, said that for me? No, he called me. I was training at Ben Hurd's, and he called me. I said, for me? I'm going, why? I was gobsmacked because I was thinking, I just started loving football again. I just want to play. I just want to keep enjoying it. But it's one of them ones when I just thought, you know what? Gaffer is right. And obviously I ended up going there. And
funny though, June, isn't it? Because people, again, I talk about you because I don't think people understand you, and they need to know more about you. You can become a pain in the arse. You can
100%.
put weight on quite quickly, and that's not being disrespectful to you.
No, cool.
And you can be a toe rag, but something clicked to that St Albans season where you went and done extra sessions. You come to training. You trained after training. You were just another level. What was it? Just the disappointment that you had the previous season of all the years building up to it? The disappointment of Wickham. Do you think it just clicked?
No, and this is where Ben Hurd as well played a massive part in it. And I've got to give Ben Hurd his credit as well. Yeah. I remember I played a game. I can't remember who we played. And I remember it was in the bar. And when was obviously Ben Hurd was at Bournemouth, he sent me and Lee his thing to come and train with him.
Yeah.
And we was like, yeah, you know how it gets. I was like, I ain't getting it. But I remember I had a man-to-man conversation. Look me in his eye. He's telling me to look me in his eyes. I weren't looking in his eyes.
He's a bit strong, and he's great lad.
Do you know what I mean?
Great.
And he made me look in his eyes. And he asked me some questions, yeah. And I just remember that just got me I just felt like boom, boom. My heart started racing. Yeah. Started racing. He said to me, do you see yourself, where do you see yourself playing? And I was like, yeah, I see myself playing. And he's like, you're not saying this with conviction. Yeah. Where do you see yourself playing? And I said it, and he was like, more like it. Then he's like, look, come and train with me, this, that, the other. And I promise you, Ben Hurd's training is probably one of the best training I've ever had. It's just different.
It's different.
And
totally
it was different. And that again, I took a chance. I was nervous going, thinking, oh, Jesus Christ. Ben Hurd's got the biggest calves ever. Yeah. He's got a bald head. And listen, what is he gonna tell me to lift up cars and throw them? I don't know what. But the training was unbelievable. And then training, obviously at training, and then training with Ben Hurd, it was just everything combined. And then it was just, I mean,
I remember speaking to you, you'd even train on a Tuesday morning with Hurdy and then playing the evening. I'm thinking, June, you're doing too much, but it just worked for you. It literally just worked for you, didn't it?
But yeah, because that's the thing. Me and Hurdy was working on game specifics as well. On my game, was working on different things. Was working on loads of things that I can implement in my game. And I remember I scored a goal when I had my little man. And we played. Who did we play when we beat them 5-1? We was dishing up 5-1s for fun, anyways.
To be fair, we were.
I came on for Merson. Who was the game that he got knocked out? I think it was. Is at home, right?
In the box, yeah.
Yeah. So you see, I remember me and her was talking about that step overs, because we done it. It was a training thing where we done at his academy, where it allows my body to move a certain way that I could do step overs, but when I saw the clips, the way how my hips and my ankles and everything was moving is because obviously is of what we've done. Yeah. And I said I can't give him enough credit for what he's done as well, taking time out, training me, even his academy boys, his misses. Just so many people, man. Honestly,
he's a good guy. I heard he believes in people.
Very good guy.
They show him the respect and the hard he puts in. He'll put back into them. So, but I mean, even credit to you as well. When you went into that, you got your move. It was all done in early December, but you couldn't obviously go there till January 1st.
Yeah.
And even then, the desire to win games of football, it never left you. Even playing for us, it was crazy. It was madness. But you get your move to Peterborough. How was that? And I remember that first goal you scored, and I think you've always been an emotional lad. Like you're like me,
Yeah.
you're very emotional. But like you
Yeah.
literally cried during the goal and the
100%.
celebration, and it just looked like to me like it was like an emotion of so much happiness. Like I've finally done it. I've achieved what I
Yeah.
wanted to do. Just great to see. What was
100%.
it like, mate?
Mate, honestly, yeah, that day comes like it just flashes in my head every day because it's like when I scored the first goal, right? I started crying. It's like a flashback of everything in my head.
Yeah.
I remember everyone was just throwing their stones at me saying, "Oh, boy can't score goals in the league like this, that, the other." And I was thinking, that's not what it is. I just need a chance. Like I just need an opportunity because that's a lot of boys don't really get the chance and the opportunity. They don't have someone that believes in them. And for me, when I scored that goal, I was just like, and then I got the next one. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is,
Yeah.
and I nearly got sent off, by the way.
Shock.
I nearly got sent off, and it was just the best feeling. And honestly, it was the best feeling. And it just felt like everything was going perfect. I had my son,
Yeah.
FA Cup.
They loved you there as well, didn't they? They absolutely loved you there at Peterborough. The fans, everyone.
And I've got so much love for. I could never say one bad thing about the fans. I can never say one bad thing about the chairman, Barry Fry. Like, I love them all.
I love the chairman now. I said it the other day to Matty Everington, who's working there now, the 18s. I think the chairman's different.
Oh, Matty Everington.
Yeah,
Is he at Stoke?
He was at Stoke and West Ham.
Yeah, I know Matty, yeah.
Lovely fella as well. And he was just saying about the chairman. He was different. Who was the manager at the time as well? I can't remember.
Grant McCann.
Grant McCann, yeah. He done so well, didn't he?
I love Gaffer. Honestly,
there was a little change, weren't there? And I spoke to Alex Ravel this week, and we had a laugh and a joke. But Steve Evans come in, and I knew for you it was never. I remember saying to Hurdy, this is a bad one for June, because if you haven't got that other side where no one sees you, put an arm around him, give him a little cuddle, give him a phone call on a Monday just to tell him like you're a little dickhead, just like calm yourself down. But we all love you. Then it was always going to be tough, and probably Steve, where he was so good for Alex Ravel when he used to drive him forward, it just didn't work for you, did it? It was just too much.
No, do you know what it is? We just clashed because me and him just clashed because I felt like he was this is my personal opinion, he was just a bully. And if he feels he can bully you, he'll bully you. That's just simply how I look at it. Yeah. And obviously I'm a very respectful person. I show respect to everyone. Where I feel like you disrespect on a different level, then I can't really show you any respect. Despite the fact you're not playing me, I still have respect for you, do you know what I'm saying?
You're really like that as well, when like you are like that, where some people would, if he was being like that to some people, they'd go away and like want to be liked by him and really put effort. You're totally different to that. No. And that's what people got to understand with you. No. Like you are totally different. If you don't get that instant connection or that instant little bit of love and respect, like you say,
but that's what it's about, though.
You'll switch off, and that's not you. And then you're not. I know the minute you're not right, you don't play your football right, and that's your way you are, innit?
Right, I want to play games, even though I understand. Even though, for example, I weren't playing, so when he came in and I wasn't playing, at the end of the day, I'm still a professional footballer.
Yeah.
So I can't sack it off and say, "Oh, do you know what? I'm not going to turn up to train." I'll never do that. That's never in my personality. I'll still come into training. I'll still give it my all. I'll still train. But there has to be respect somewhere where we don't cross. And he was just disrespectful. And as I said, our personalities clash. And then there's certain things that can't be said. But, you know, me and him just never get on. And then it ended up being, I got offered a new deal. And then next minute, I find myself basically getting told that I got to find myself a new destination. And you know what? That was hard to take, but I was so used to it, you know? Yeah. You know, when you're just used to something, like, you're just used to basically being told this, that, the other.
Yeah.
You just get immune to it.
Of course you do.
It just makes you hungry, innit? It just makes you hungry and just hungry to want to...
It comes down to, again, mate, and this is the big thing for football, and this is what everyone has to understand, whoever listens to this. Football is all about opinions. It's as simple as that. And 100%. It's about relationships, and it's like having a relationship with women. Some you'll get on with, some you won't. It's a simple fact. It's the same with football. It's probably the same in everywhere in life, and that's what people have to understand. What's right for one person isn't right for another. And just the way
100%.
you got your move to Northampton, and Austin was manager, weren't he?
Dean Austin. Obviously, Dean Austin obviously knows the chairman at St Albans, and obviously he supports. He obviously worked with St Albans as well. So he said, to be fair, I really loved Dean Austin. I can't say I liked him as well. He reminded me of Grant McCann. He reminded me of Ian Allison.
Yeah.
So he had all them greatness that I thought, okay. So for me, like when that was happening, it was like, oh yeah, I actually want to go Northampton. Even though there's one thing that was creeping me a bit, obviously Northampton, Peterborough, you know it gets. But on the other side, I was thinking, I want to move there because of Dean Austin. And I just thought he was a great manager. He was a great man. And I just wanted to work with him.
He left. He got sacked quite early though, June, didn't he?
Yeah. And that was, to be fair, that was unfortunate. But listen, you know how football gets sometimes, and you just gotta when you get knockbacks, you just gotta get yourself up and dust yourself off, and then go again.
Was that hard? Because obviously it's a really strange one actually. Because I thought it was really going to work for you when Keith Cole come in. Because obviously he was the manager when we played Carlisle.
Yeah.
And I remember him speaking to us after about how much he rated you. It just didn't quite work, did it? What was that reasoning? Was it different style, the way he plays, or just not quite a right fit? What was it?
I just feel, even with that situation, I just feel like I wasn't for him.
Yeah.
In a sense, I wasn't his style of player.
Yeah.
I'll say I wasn't his style of player. Put it as that, you know. I wasn't his cup of tea. That's probably the best thing to say, because obviously he likes a big striker, whatever. And I'm obviously not in that height of caliber in terms of that. Yeah. So it's just, we just didn't. It was just the next one. We just didn't. Listen, there was respect there, so I wouldn't disrespect anyone, but we just didn't have that.
You said you struggled with the training sessions as well, didn't you? You like high tempo and every man different. Again, it goes into coaching as well. Everyone's different. Everyone's got their own style and the way.
Exactly. And
you like to be at high tempo.
Some of the sessions was okay, but some of the sessions is what it is. There's times we wouldn't train, and then it's just frustrating, really. But I remember when Ned came in. It was I started to enjoy it. This is when the season finished, and then the new season come before I left. Ned came in, I was like, oh, yes, Ned come in. Then that's when I got told I can go, and then next minute Ned comes in, I'm back in the squad and I'm on the bench, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm phoning Uncle B and I'm like, Uncle B, I'm in the squad. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I was confused because I was thinking, how am I in the squad when I didn't go to Spain, I didn't go anywhere. But, you know, football, like I said to you, Lee, to be fair, I got so used to it. But the thing is, for me, when I say I get used to it, when I get pushed back or when I get knocked back, I feel like I always come back harder and I come back stronger. And it just makes me wiser and just makes me hungrier. Yeah. To wanna do well, to wanna be successful. And that's why when, for example, the situation that we're in now, it could be easy for me to just come home at my mum's, sit down and just eat and just relax and don't do nothing. But in my mind, it's like, no, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep working. You've got to keep progressing, because the season, you never know what can happen. The season can go on tomorrow. Are you going to be ready?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to be ready? And I look at myself every time I wake up and I said, are you ready for tomorrow? Are you ready for the next day? Are you ready for today? If Gaffer calls you and said, look, you got to come back up today. We've got a game on the weekend. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And
what's that like for you when, like, because I remember speaking to Sylvia at the time, and there was about 3 or 4 different clubs on the table, but like nothing ever got over. Like, it must have been so frustrating. I know how you are. That must have been so frustrating for you.
Yeah.
Would you find it difficult?
Yeah, but you, as I said, I get so used to it.
Yeah.
Where like I never get my hopes up. I get excited because when I have my mind set on something, like for example, when I was at Peterborough and I had all these clubs interested, and once I've made my mind up about one, it's just that. It's just I've made my mind up and that's it.
Yeah.
When I made up my mind about St Albans, it was that. I didn't want to go White Oak. I didn't want to go nowhere.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do that. So when I was at Northampton and a few League Two clubs I was speaking to a few managers and then Doncaster came up, I was excited. I was like,
yeah,
I've got unfinished business with League One.
Yeah.
That's a chance to go back to League One, you know? And then that's where I can go and finish off where I didn't get a chance to finish off, the way I started when that season before I got injured. So that's where I was thinking about that. Then that didn't happen, and I was just thinking, you still got to be professional. And then St Mirren came up, and then I was just like, all right, let's go.
That was just, I mean, I didn't see it coming, to be fair, but
I didn't see it coming either.
You found yourself up at St Mirren.
Yeah.
You move up there. Is your first game Glasgow Rangers at home as well? Was that your first?
The first game was Rangers, yeah.
And like, what was that like? The whole that game, the build up to that game, and being at St Mirren, what was the whole thing like?
Mate, I was just thinking, what the F is going on here? Mate, the place is rammed. The fans are a joke. Our own fans are a joke. Like they're loud as ever. And I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
I was thinking, and then boom, I just knew what it was. But as again, but being like Scotland's it's a massive challenge. It was a massive risk.
Yeah.
But you know how it gets. Take a risk.
Yeah.
I've always taken risks. I love taking risk. You know.
How are you finding it? What's the style like? Is it completely different to England, or?
Do you know what? I remember when I was down there, everyone used to like underestimate the league, saying the league is pish and all this stuff. Or I'm even speaking Scottish. Saying the league's this and the league's that. The league is actually it's a good standard, you know. It's a good standard. Obviously when you play Celtic and Rangers, obviously a bit different.
Are they like miles ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like, you know, when you play them at home, you've got a chance.
Yeah.
When you play them at their place, it can be a bit long.
What's that like? I want to go there actually. I saw my to-do list is Celtic Park. You played there, didn't you, before this? What's that like? What's that experience like? What's that like going from St Albans, where you get probably 1,000 people and probably not the best looking ground, to Celtic Park in front of 50,000 people? What's that like?
Like St Albans pitch was decent though. I give you that. But mate, the stadium's a joke, mate. Just everything about the stadium's a joke, you know. And then you and this is the thing, when I started against Celtic and I started against Rangers, it's like I went at home and I sat down and I went tick. I went tick, and I said that's just the start, because that's, for me, that's a mini dream that, you know what I mean, I've played in front of 40, 50,000 people. I played against 20,000. Like that's a dream for me, you know. And that's a little mini one. And for me, it's just getting started. Everything's just getting warm up. For me, you know me, I'm my own critics, and I know I criticize myself if I've done something well, and I think I didn't do well. I'm honest with myself. I didn't have the best start, obviously, going up there, but I knew the reason why the start didn't really happen to the way I want it to happen. And then everything started kicking up. My performance I started being consistent week in and week out, you know. But
you have to take into account as well. You got 2 kids yourself, and you go up there, you move up there. You don't take your kids with you. That's tough on anyone, let alone go and then play football. In a totally new country, town, that like you're not going to fit in that well up there either, June. The way you are, it must have been tough early. It must have been hard.
No, it is hard, but you know, I'm a people's people. I get on with people.
You do.
And the good thing is, I said I knew a few of the boys already, so that kind of helped.
Yeah,
You know, that kind of helped that I knew a few of the boys already.
What's it like as a club, St Mirren? I mean, I'm desperate to go up. I think we're going to do it next year. Me and Faye are going to come up to one of your games. But what's it like as a club?
Listen, it's like a family club.
Nice.
You know, it's a family club where like everyone's together. You know what I mean? Like, you just got some amazing people. Like, you come in the morning, you see Tony, and you see like all the staff, and it's just like good people. You see Susan, the lady in the office.
Yeah.
Like, you get up in the morning and you see a smile on someone's face. It just makes you have a smile on your face.
Yeah, of course it does.
You know, and I feel like that alone just makes everything just good. You know, it's just a tight knit club. Everything's just run properly, and you just like where you've gone from somewhere where it's not so like family based, even though Peterborough is family based. Yeah. Obviously, with Grant McCann as a manager, it was. And then you go to St Mirren. It was the same thing, and it just gives you that thing that's saying, "Boy, okay, it's a good feeling." Okay.
Where is it? Just outside Glasgow.
Yeah, so it's in Paisley.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's in Paisley.
You had a night out in Glasgow.
Huh?
Have you had a night out in Glasgow or not?
Yeah, I had a few nights, but it's not like that though.
No, listen,
like just little dinner and wind downs and that, really.
Nice, mate. We got some quick fire questions just to finish with, mate. Answer them, don't need to be that quick, but best player you played with and against?
Oh, man.
You can't obviously say me because of training performances.
Hey, wait, you was getting battered.
Steady on.
I'll just say, do you know what? I'll just say like I don't know.
Don't start using mates here. The best player you've played with and against.
Mate, I'll start calling my pals and that.
Honestly, it's embarrassing.
I'll start name bashing.
You'll be on the phone to Coxie in a minute saying, "Sorry, Coxie, I wanted to say you, but I couldn't."
Coxie's just a Wattweiler. Best player I've played with. Oh. And against, I'll say John Terry.
What, against?
Yeah, against.
Yeah. With?
Best player I've played with. Oh, boy. Some good players, you know.
There's some good ones, mate.
I'm going to say... I'll say it's out. There's two. It's out Jack Marriott and Marcus Maddison.
Yeah, decent. Yeah, I thought you was going to say that too. They're good. Yeah. Very, very good players, mate. Very good players.
Yeah.
Best goal you scored?
Mate, I've scored some good goals, you know.
No under 11s when you was taller than everyone else.
Wait, I've scored some joke goals, but I has to be I'll say St Albans. Has to be, but that's probably one of my favourite goals. In 4 minutes, mate.
Yeah, there's a goal and a half, mate. I tell you now, that referee cost us that day as well. We'd have beat them that day. They were gone.
Mate, I got the referee's haircut now, mate. I might smash him up.
Best manager you played for and why?
Oh man, see that is a tough question.
Oh, it's a great question.
That is a tough question. No, seriously, that's a tough. I can't answer that.
There's got to be one that stands out, or one that you think, you know what?
Man, because
or
do you know
two or
no, but you see, that's the thing is right. For example, like as I said, the three that I named you was it's been class.
Yeah,
like you had Ian Allison.
They've all had a part in your career, haven't they?
Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, I'm gonna say Ian Allison, Dean Austin, Grant McCann. Yeah, I can't give you one. I can't give you one.
No, I get that. They're all three that have done very well for you. If you could give advice to young junior Morias,
that is who, like my son.
No, you when you were little.
When I was little, yeah.
Give yourself some advice and say, right, this. What would you say to yourself?
Shut him up. No, Nah, do you know what? Just believe in yourself a lot more, you know? Believe in yourself more. And just believe in yourself more and just keep going.
Yeah.
That's really what I'd say. There's more I'd probably say to myself, but at this moment in time, what has come to my head, just believe in yourself a bit more.
Yeah. And just before we go on to the
And
last
stop
one,
fighting.
turn up on time, because this meeting was meant to happen today at 4:00. And
What time was it meant to start, Lee?
4:00. Me and
Lee,
Billy were
what
waiting
time?
for
Lee, it was meant to
Junior
start
turned up
at
at
3
5
o'clock. Lee,
I changed
it
to
was meant
4.
then you changed it to 4. Then I said, I had to make the little ones some food. You can go an hour. That's fair.
Never on time. And last one, mate. Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh, see, yeah. I love Ronaldo because Ronaldo, he's a grinder, but you can't say Messi doesn't grind. So I'm going for me, Messi. That's me, personally.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going for Messi.
Yeah, that's.
I have to go. I just feel like I have to go for Messi.
Yeah, I agree. I think I say this all the time. I say it all the time. One born with unbelievable talent, and one's got very good talent, but has had to work extremely hard to get where he got.
There you go.
Don't tell Messi. Listen, I'm not saying Messi didn't work hard to get where he got. What I'm saying is Ronaldo's an all package to get where he's got, because he has to be like that, and that's for me is the difference. But listen, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, June, and as I say, me and Faye know that we've made a friend for life, and I hope one day that we're able to work
100%.
together again. Not when you're like 42 and you're trying to nick a living off me, but at some point in mate. But
100%, man.
Mate, and you deserve everything you've got in football, and I know that Morias is happy. The sky's the limit for him, because he can go a long way in football. So thank you for joining me, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Nah, anytime, man. Thank you, man, and thank my man Bills. You know what I mean? Thanks everyone, man. You know the love I got for your family leads unconditionally, man. You know what I mean? I thank you guys, your dad. I thank everyone, man. You know what I mean? Your mum, everyone. I just thank everyone, because you guys have just been loving, support, and just been great to me. And I just can't thank you guys enough, man. You know what I mean?
Top man, June. Thank you, mate. Take care.
Oh yeah, well done to you. Well done to my little friend. You know what I mean? Big shout out to my little friend. She's doing very well for what she's doing for the NHS, man. So send her my love. She's done very well, and I'm proud of her, man.
Will do. Take care, mate. See you soon.
My bro. Love, brother. See you soon. Speak to you in a bit.